want to talk to you guys about the upcoming plant medicine journey. We go to Rhythmia Life Advancement Centre every year. The medicine calls us over there, and we started taking students and friends and family. And as you guys know, that's how our journey started. We had an awakening in 2019 and we got called to Costa Rica to sit with the plant medicine. It's a deep, deep journey of the soul and looking at yourself, and you're giving up control in these medicine journeys. So we're going in October again. The dates will be released. We do go to Rhythmia Life Advancement Centre. You fly into Liberia. So you have the medicine family in what they call the Maloka, which is the central hall that we meet for ceremony, and we do the plant medicine. Okay, so it's a sacred temple where the medicine family in charge in that arena. They're very skilled shamans from the Amazon jungle and have been working with the medicine for many years. You know, you're really safe in this, and that's what we love. They make sure they're protecting the grid in the temple and cleaning the energy so it's nice and fresh and clean, and you know, it's comfortable. They give you a beautiful single mattress with a nice fluffy blanket, and those types of things are really good when you're on a psychedelic journey.
Hello and welcome to Elevated Conversations. In this discussion today, Roxy and I are going to be talking to you guys about what happens when you're working through your healing journey and you feel like you get stuck. You get to this point where you're wondering what to work on next, or you feel like you're just repeating the same things over and over again, right? You're thinking, I thought I've worked on this before. Well, we're going to unpack what that is in this particular video, and then we're going to talk about what it might actually mean for you and your spiritual growth and where to go from next. So we hope you like this one. Please, if any of the time through it you can relate to any of us, please send us a message or give us a little thumbs up, because we love to hear from you guys, and it's great for Roxy and I to be both back with you live on the channel. Hope you enjoy, guys.
Hey guys, it's Pete and Roxy here on our Elevated Conversations podcast. Today you guys get us and us only. It's been a while since we've done like a chat, a conversation. So we just thought today felt like a really nice day to open up the floor to what's been going on for us in our personal spiritual life and our family life, in, you know, awakening world. There's a lot going on. It's only March, middle of March, and there is a lot going on the planet, as you guys would know. So here we are opening the conversation for some themes for this year, some things that we're seeing, and some exciting news about our trips and courses that are coming up.
Certainly, Mother Earth has been shifting and moving over the last month or so. Here in Australia, we had two very big cyclones off the coast and really affected Queensland and northern New South Wales, and in northern Western Australia. Huge swells, big winds, and even just today, before we come on live with you guys, we hear about the tornadoes hitting the United States. And we feel for all those families who have lost their homes, lost loved ones. There is certainly a lot of shifts and rumbles going on with Mother Earth, and often that can be a reflection of what's going on within us as well, because Space Weather has been sending us messages. You can actually subscribe to Space Weather and get alerts. So the phone has been lighting up with galactic storms and different space weather sending pulses of high frequency energy onto the planet. The Schumann resonance has been abnormally high for long periods of time. And for a lot of us over the last month or so, we've noticed that there are people talking about needing lots and lots of sleep, only to then find themselves awake, you know, halfway through the night, like an owl or a cat staring at the ceiling, wide awake, like they're energized, almost like there's something they should wake up and get up and do. So it's like things happening in sleep, which is quite strange, because If the diet's been clean and the exercise has been up, then the energy levels really and the pattern that the body is in should be in alignment. However, there are outside forces that certainly do affect us. And the more sensitive we are, the more we notice those, right?
Yeah. And I think like in terms of the full moon, that's just come over the weekend. And Pete and I were waking up at 3 a.m. looking at each other going, why are we awake? It's like the lights are on outside, hey?
Mhm.
And, a couple of weeks ago, all the planets were doing a celestial march in alignment. And so this is really affecting us when we are, tuned into this energy and the spiritual awakening. I mean, the moon raises tides on the planet and it affects the planet, yes. So it brings up emotions when we're coming into a full moon cycle. But and then they subside, like the waters subside again. But with the planets, they are beings. They're rocks floating in space and they're beings. And there's a soul incarnated in these beings. They're very intelligent. And so when they're coming into the golden age and the Aquarius and they're lining up, we're going to feel that. And, we are all interconnected in a very galactic way and an infinite way. So all of the star systems, the planets in our solar system, us on the planets, we're all interconnected. So if they're doing a march, the planets, they're showing us so much about what we are to do and getting ourselves into alignment, I feel. And that certainly has been the case for myself for the last 4 months. It's like this kind of like a midlife crisis, but I'm calling it a spiritual crisis of massive transformation. Probably the hardest stuff I've ever had to look at and deal with, probably as well. Pete would probably agree because he's been the rock in all of this. But what the planets are doing is getting our energy centers to be in alignment. So whether or not you're awake or not, or aware, or want to say, yeah, I want a spiritual awakening healing journey, or maybe you're just into yoga, you would have felt this energy in the last couple of months. Like this is really intense energy and it's shifting us all to be more interconnected. It's the truth of the universe. Like we're moving up out of that third dimensional space and that frequency of slow moving into a higher frequency. And when we move into a higher frequency and octave of energy, we're moving into a space where we're not hidden by the illusion anymore. So, like on the global stage, you can see a lot of truths are coming out. This Chat GPT doing some reports in the back end of financial spends in the government, and everyone's going, wow, is this even real? Well, so this is the curtain of the veil completely coming down. And so, this is showing us a reflection of our frequency as a whole collective. We're now looking behind the curtain and really wanting the truth. And so the truth within, we're seeing ourselves. Oh, yeah, might have had some issues in our childhood that we have to actually address now. We can't just keep marching through the third dimension with our force and our ego, pretending it doesn't live there. Right. This heart awakening is starting to come now because of the energy speeding up on the planet and the help from our galactic brothers and sisters, the planets, and other star systems. This is a bigger kind of thing, I believe, this great awakening than we probably all thought in the beginning when we first had our awakening. It's going to be a lot more grander than we first, I think, thought.
Yeah. And guys, what this would mean is for yourselves that, that beautiful line was, that we often say to one another, oh, I thought I'd worked on that issue. Right? It's like, you go to those issues, but so often there are many different facets and perspectives on how different events in our life affect us. So, for example, we might look at how something upsetting, traumatic, disturbing may have happened in our life and how it might have affected us, let's call it in the root chakra, and how it might have just affected us physically, or the feelings of not feeling safe or supported, or there is uncertainty, and you feel into that. And let's just call that from a root chakra perspective. But then, of course, you could move up into the sacral chakra perspective, and often not at the same time. Months later, things come up in about how that might have affected your self-image. So how, because of that, you moved into people pleasing or shyness or not speaking up or defending yourself or avoiding conflict or etc etc. And then you might look at how those facets of the self-image or your personality then affected your solar plexus chakra and your ability to have that personal power to try new things, to dare to take a risk, right? To explore your own creativity or do something which might really be a little out of the ordinary, but give you so much fulfillment. Well, that's affected, if you can see, by those two lower chakras, which may be blocked and out of alignment. And of course, when those three are blocked like that, it's very, very difficult to what? Go into our heart and to be open and real and vulnerable within ourselves. And then, of course, that affects how our throat chakra, our authenticity is displaying itself out there in the world. So we get stuck in our head. And we might have a lot of intuitive gifts and abilities and beautiful ability to be able to tune in and be very perceptive and read the room and pick up on opportunities and feel the vibe from other people. But it is shut down because we're stuck in our head. We don't even trust our own intuition, second guessing ourselves, procrastination, worrying too much. And that's this beautiful term as a light worker. We can be our own worst enemy. So we move through that as a cycle. So as Roxy's saying, the continual spiritual balancing of moving into the bottom three to clear those out, to then open up these top four chakras is a continual process that we move through. And as we do it, it's like a bath, right? As we do it, we feel better, cleaner, fresher afterwards. But once is not enough, right? We need that regular spiritual hygiene. Yeah.
Lots of showers, lots of energy center balancing. So yeah, I guess a lot of light workers at this time are also hypersensitive. And so like Pete just mentioned something about, being in the head and walking into places, and maybe before you could walk in and, go to the supermarket and it not affect you. But now it's kind of like really affecting you because you're feeling other people's energies and you've just opened a massive layer. And so that's the case for me. And I've shared this before in some of our groups, but the unraveling of this, midlife crisis, kind of spiritual crisis that I'm having, is made me stay at home and not be doing anything. Like, it's really forced me to go in and listen. And so how I mean by that is, like, when I go to the shops, I was having anxiety and overwhelm, and my energy was everywhere, to the fact that I had to get in the car and drive home. But luckily I figured out grocery shopping boot collection. So that's really cool, because I get to now just drive up and get the groceries online and sent straight to the boot. So that's helped me pull through as a mother. But, like just going into different sporting arenas, even like the basketball stadium, there was a past life that I was integrating as a gladiator, and I had to give up my free will to fight for, someone. And I knew that it was going to be death or live. Like, there's one or the other. And so the fear of overwhelm in big stadiums started coming to me as well. So these past lives, we work on this lifetime. We then have to start to integrate the themes or patterns of unfinished business from past lifetimes. And so there is so much going on, probably more so than we even believe or think or know at any one time, with energy and integration. And so, this masculine past life of wanting to be here and not take it for granted or not fear death was coming up for me. So every time I go into a stadium, I'd be overwhelmed. You've witnessed this, and I'm like, oh, got to get outside. I can't be in here. It's just like so overwhelming. So this hypersensitivity that we're all going through is natural and normal. It doesn't mean that you're weak. It means that you're healing, and this energy is being integrated. So like for me, having this past life as a gladiator in masculine energy is a strength. So it's not something to run from or hide from. It's something that I've got to integrate and use as my ally now, right? And it's the same if you're a high priestess in Atlantis or Lemuria, and you've got these goddess gifts. You might be super, super sensitive because it's trying to show you the feminine aspect of the delicacy of this real, humbling little girl that lives inside of you. And you've got to learn to love it and be sensitive. And so, like, we really find that, like, this ascension journey at the moment for a lot of light workers, right? A lot of people woke up 2020 and really started going hard on their awakening journey. And now I feel like after, 4 years or 5 years of deep healing, like we've been at this every day, it feels. And so now it's like past life integration, upgrading in DNA coding, ancestral lineage stuff, but you have to link it all. You have to see the pattern in these themes for the consciousness intelligence to be kind of learnt and explored and understood to graduate, right? And so where I was going with that, then after that discovery, right? You then have to bring those parts of those Christ consciousness versions back into this one now version and this timeline right now in the present moment. And it's kind of like the balancing of the masculine and feminine within for divine union. So we're always looking for a divine union outside of ourselves. And I asked the medicine last year in November, show me how good it gets in the divine union, meaning Pete and me. But little did I know I had one step that I was spiritually bypassing, which was not balancing my feminine masculine energy, right? And so, yeah, I got, halted at home, and I'm still halted at home, and I'm enjoying it. I love the presence of my little nest at home. We're very grateful for the land. But yeah, that's what we're up to now. We're up to, seeing this balancing act of the feminine and masculine within our own soul, integrating those valuable past life lessons and gifts and abilities, then will start to turn on. But you have to have time to understand your gifts and understand your power and strength and sensitivity. And you have to listen and know it well before you go back out on the big stage. And so that's the process that we're in right now. It's been 4 months of standstill. Hey.
Yeah, it's like spiritual fitness in a way,
Mm.
because once you understand the principles of being able to open the heart, quieten the mind, be guided by your higher self, light beings, the angelic beings, Pleiadians, Arcturians, Sirians, Andromedans, whatever you wish to call it, this high vibrational energy. Once you can create the right conditions within your mind, body, spirit complex, quietening the mind, calling in, right, the energy then's got to be turned into a concept. In other words, it's showing you some sort of imbalance, masculine imbalance, feminine imbalance, an imbalance within your self-image, a false belief in and around prosperity, how happy you're allowed to be, right? Etc., etc. So you get shown that concept, and in that there might be trapped emotion, there might be a false belief, but you've got to acknowledge it, feel it, release it. That's step 2. So first, call the energy in. Second, get shown where the imbalances are within the system. But then third is take action and actually give yourselves opportunity if it's got to do with resentment or lack of forgiveness or anger, etc. In your life, start to show more appreciation for people, start to actually really feel forgiveness. And that might even involve writing things out in your journal or whatever it may be. But take action in and around forgiveness, compassion, empathy, understanding, so that the next time you're in a situation where someone might cut you off in traffic, or they give you terrible customer service, or they're blatantly rude, you respond rather than react. Instead of telling them to get nicked or what a terrible person they are, you move to, wow, poor old them, they must be having a bad day. Compassion, empathy, understanding. So the way you know you've changed is not the outside world around you changes. The way you know that you've changed is your response, your reaction to what's going on around you changes. So when you find yourself choosing compassion, empathy, understanding, kindness, expressing more love and light in your life, this is where you take the energy into the spiritual concept and then create energy in motion, right? And really start to live the mission, which is be a high vibrational being out there in the world. Remember that saying, by their works, you shall know them. through what they do, the energy that they express. That is how we're being of service. It's terrific to meditate and to get into deeply relaxed states and send out healing energy from the darkness of your bedroom. But it's more powerful to go out there into the marketplace and shine your light and positively affect the lives of other people directly.
When you're not a newborn baby, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
But if you feel like hanging out in the room for now and just sending the energy, that's fine as well. But the challenge, right, is to step into our power, right? Often the reason why people go, wow, I'm all inspired, but I don't know what to do next. Well, the stepping into the power is taking action.
And it's scary because we haven't allowed ourselves to use our power before. Everyone, it's like, the head has always had the force and been driven by the ego. The power is coming from the central nervous system in the solar plexus. It's like a sun in our stomach, in our region. And it just brings me back to when I manifested a house in LA, in Santa Monica on Ocean Ave on our recent trip last year. Remember, I said, I want to live in that set of units, Pete, 515 it is, Ocean Ave. And we went back to the hotel and we manifested and I manifested. And then I woke up to the real estate agent calling me and he's like, I don't know how you knew, but we just put this up for rent. And you rang as soon as we clicked the button. And I was like, but see, I tuned into a force that was beyond what I thought I could do. And so it showed me a glimpse of how we can manifest from that power center that we all have. And when you're stepping into your power, you don't know what this power is. It's different. It's a new vibration that we all haven't felt before. Would you agree? It's like this. It's so strong that we kind of shy away from it because we don't know how to use it. It's like a tool that we don't know how to use, but we can manifest. And I feel like that unit in Santa Monica was such a big manifestation moment for myself that I could get it like that. What are the chances? And they did a 3-month lease, straight in, all sorted. Perfect.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the 12 points of reference on the healing journey. Or 24. It feels like sometimes, guys, and you're probably with us with this, that, we go over a lesson and a lesson and a lesson, and we get to see new perspectives. And we've seen a pattern with this. So we can come into the world to expand our consciousness and grow intelligently as a soul. Okay. So we're here for growth and expansion, transformation. And we're doing it in a body that has emotion. So it's even the mastery, earth school mastery program here. And so what Pete and I have noticed is that people have the same energy flow come up from time to time, 3 or 4 months later. And it's the same flow as what we've worked on before. And it's like the ego goes, I've worked on this before. If you're ever in a session with someone and they're like, oh no, I've done lots of work around that. And it's kind of like, well, we're revisiting it because it's coming up again, And so we've noticed that there's a 12-point contact and even sometimes a 24-point contact to integrate the lesson.
So the more we look at the themes in our life, because there seems to be themes, whether it might be in and around rejection, unconditional love, forgiveness, loss, etc. Many, right? There are themes, and then within those themes, there are specific events or traumas and things that we learn to work through, love, accept, integrate. But the 12 chakras that we have extended beyond the 7 tie in with our 12 strands of DNA, and they influence how each of these themes or events, traumas, etc., may actually influence our physical vessel. So that's in the example I gave earlier, how something that may have occurred in our root chakra can actually affect us in all of those other chakras as well. And as Roxy has mentioned on this call so far, once you've worked on this life and all the stuff that you experienced in this life that's affected you and your self-image and your goals and aspirations, all being influenced by your self-limiting beliefs, then we start to work on how we got those, usually from our family, right? Our DNA, the environment that we grew up in and around. And we can extend that out even more to our lineage. And that can extend also then to the interconnectedness of our oversoul. because as you guys know, when our soul comes in, it splits into different timelines, different dimensions, planets, galaxies, and there are different versions of us simultaneously having experiences and learning lessons and working through issues and principles in order for the soul to know itself. The soul, as in the spark of the divine, which is source, down here, understanding itself better through us and our unique personality and outlook on that, influenced by how open or closed we are in our energy centers, our chakras, which affect our personality. That's our the unique facet that we offer to the divine, always connected back to source. So we're always our own healers. And by growing in those 12 aspects, we can gain great insight into what different things may be showing us and moving us back towards. And for those of you that have done our How to Medbed course, we work solidly on those 7 chakras, going into them, talking about how you can go into, like, literally not just each of the 7 energy centers within your physical vessel, to tune into and look at how those traumas have affected your behaviors, responses to life. But also we go into the physical body itself, the bones, the liver, the tissue, either the brain and nervous system, which is an amazing one, going right through the different joints and etc., and talk about how those distortions, those knots in our life, get locked within our physical vessel.
Our emotions getting locked in our organs, and people wonder why they get sick.
Big one.
This course, this galactic training really does go into the emotions that are stored into the organs, so we can release them, feel them, heal them, and let them go.
And when we do that, it has the effect of helping us to connect back with our heart or our soul. So we do a timeline reading exercise where you read through your timeline and identify areas where you might have split from your soul. So a lot of you watching this, you've done that program, you remember that, you've got access to listen to it, of course, live whenever you want. What we're looking at in the new announcement, which we've got for you today, is we've been working on a new course. And the new course we're looking at is looking at going, what then once you've balanced this life? How to then take that and expand it so that we can do more with lineage, more with activating the different strands of our DNA and moving below the chakras, below the root, above the chakras, above your crown chakra, and turning on all of those energy centers and activating what they call the rainbow light body, the Ascension vehicle. And through balancing consciously our 7 chakras and then extending this beyond to the etheric chakras, we can really, in effect, not just raise our vibration, but start to actually shift the vibration of the energy of the cells within the whole system so that we actually start to encourage that process of us merging with our light body, integrating more with our higher self. So the downloads, the knowings, the almost as you learn a lesson, have a spiritual experience and you upload it to your higher self, you allow space for a new download, a new knowing, a new perspective on understanding of the self. So this is what we're calling.
We want those ones.
Yeah. This is what we're calling the Ascension course. And we're going to be looking at using the rainbow light body, sacred geometry, and actually a way of helping us to be able to actively move ourselves towards these higher states of vibration and actively move into the green ray heart chakra in our vessel, more in our day-to-day life, so that this can be a real assistance towards us moving towards ascension. And it's a beautiful program.
Yeah, we got some goodies in there, like becoming more multidimensional and some techniques to tap into ancient Egypt lifetimes and, Stargate activations and working with, the different multidimensional beings like the fairy realms and leprechauns and, learning how to really manifest in your life. So it's an add-on from the first galactic training, the How to Medbed course. And, it would be very good if you have had that course and you've processed that course and gone through that course. Because when we're working on the quantum field, it's good to have feelings as your gift open and your sight, your third eye activated. And so, in the first course, we're really clearing any density to elevate your frequency in order for those gifts to turn on. So you're learning to remote view up and down to a galactic ship in the fifth dimension, the quantum field, working with, Pleiadian beings and your higher self and the team, and shifting this density out of the physical body, out of the organs, out of the energy centers, merging back with your soul. So you're prepared, your light body, for this inception, right? So this activation of this course is going to help you ascend and move into higher octaves again and again. So watch out for that. That's coming June, July. We're working on that now to make it amazing for you guys.
We're experimenting with our private clients. We're working with them all. And oh my goodness, some of these sessions, you're supposed to be on a talk call for an hour with someone. We're over 2 hours just going deep, and you laugh, you cry, you can't believe the stuff that comes through.
Very enjoyable.
And guys, like it blows us away at what we're able to access from our higher self and the power that's within all of us. It's like one of the greatest illusions is when we shrink ourselves down and come into this world and forget how powerful we are. And as we start to remember, and people start to go, oh my gosh, this is having an effect in my life in the real time, and they're shining, they're happy. All of a sudden, all their different health issues improve dramatically, but the energy that they have and the connectedness they're noticing day to day is a direct result of these exercises that they're doing to move them towards that path of ascension, enlightenment. It's like they're actively working on themselves. Very excited. So we're calling that the Ascension course, and that will be getting offered for the first time coming up in a couple of months.
Yeah, and so now we want to talk to you guys about the upcoming plant medicine journey. We go to Rhythmia Life Advancement Center every year. The medicine calls us over there, and we started taking students and friends and family. So the week is a little bit more, I guess, shared, in ceremony with Mother Ayahuasca. That is a plant medicine that we take. And as you guys know, that's how our journey started. We had an awakening in 2019, and we got called to Costa Rica to sit with the plant medicine. Little did we know that it was like a 4-night in a row, heavy lifting, purging and cleaning out the density and the emotions. And it really did supercharge our connection to the galactic, which we did not have before. It rapidly opened up our third eye, and we started channeling Pleiadian beings on the way home, and we thought we were going crazy. So long story short, then Awakening Education was born, and we are now doing meditation, teaching people to remote view. Healing sessions have opened up with Pete and myself, and we're offering students like you, if you're listening to this and you've felt called to the medicine will call you when you're called. You'll know when you're ready. It is it's a deep journey of the soul and looking at yourself, and you're giving up control in these medicine journeys. So we're going in October again. The dates will be released. We do go to Rhythmia Life Advancement Center. You fly into Liberia. We go there because it's a 5-star resort, and Pete and I like a bit of air conditioning. But the balance of the resort staff is very good. So you have the medicine family in what they call the Maloka, which is the central hall that we meet for ceremony. And we do the plant medicine. Okay. So it's a sacred temple where the medicine family are in charge in that arena. Okay. They're very skilled shamans from the Amazon jungle and have been working with the medicine for many years. So you're really safe in this. And that's what we love. They make sure they're protecting the grid in the temple and cleaning the energy so it's nice and fresh and clean. And it's comfortable. They give you a beautiful single mattress with a nice fluffy blanket, and those types of things are really good when you're on a psychedelic journey, right? When you need safety, this was very comforting for me, and we highly recommend Rhythmia for that reason. The resort itself is very it's very supportive. Everyone at the resort is doing medicine. Everyone has done a medicine journey. So everyone knows what you're going through. I remember the first time we went for the first night. The next day we had to make it to breakfast, and I swear I had like a meltdown on the footpath heading to breakfast because I just didn't know if I could keep doing this. And everyone doesn't judge you. You're welcome to cry at breakfast, to cry at lunch if you have a breakdown. Everyone is so loving, so you're very supported. And if you're coming alone on the week, you'll have a familiar face. We're there. A lot of students that we know are loving this idea that they can come to Rhythmia with us because they get to experience it with a familiar face in the room, right? So we'll be sitting with the medicine as well. And yeah, we'll be around the resort that week and you're able to have our support. Now, the resort itself has a gym, a spa, a colonics, massages. It's all inclusive, and the price is roughly $5,500 US, $5,500 US for a shared room. Okay, so that's the price point. It's a 7-night retreat, all inclusive. Once you're there, yeah. What else?
Yeah. Oh, look, full medical facilities all the way through. And I think the program itself sets it apart from other ceremonies. I've spoken to people who have done one or maybe even 2 nights of a ceremony at other places. And they came with us on the last trip to Rhythmia and they were blown away about how having a structured program with educational
Mm,
classes in between the sessions helped the person get so much more healing from the experience rather than just an experience. In other words, you can lie there on the mattress, the music's beautiful, you see psychedelics, and you get shown some images and etc. And you wake in the morning and go, oh wow, that was really beautiful. Or you can go in there and, Mother Ayahuasca, show me who I've become, merge me back with my soul at all costs, heal my heart. You're set those 3 intentions and you're diving into that, and that structure helps you to almost find yourself again, that lost version of you. So, guys, that'll be coming up October 2025. And yeah, for sure, reach out if you're interested. You can find out more on our website, and we'll be supporting you on that journey. And where it's had a profound impact on our life.
Yeah, I mean, Awakening Education, this YouTube channel, this podcast, all of our courses was built from the medicine, Mother Ayahuasca, and it was, it's brought our relationship together. There was a few fireworks at the beginning, of course, as we're shifting and changing. But, in terms of our relationship, we're growing more in love every day, every year, every month. It's like the more you heal, the more you can have love and deep gratitude for your partner, for your kids, for your family. There is a higher purpose to all this, and that's togetherness and happiness. So it's not division and divide like the world, the matrix. These principles of healing, and even if you're not ready for the medicine yet, that is okay. But once you get down into the heart, the medicine gets you into your heart. A lot of people, they think they're in their heart, and I feel like they might be just having a glimpse of the heart. But when you do the medicine and open up these psychedelics, you're really letting go of control, and you're really stripping back that ego. The ego wants to control everything and make you think that you're, loving, but it's a whole nother level to your soul's
The old,
expansion with the medicine.
the old spiritual bypass story. You're not that bad. It wasn't that bad. You're not as screwed up as they all are, or this or that, or oh, you don't really need it, right? The ego will give you all sorts of little reasons and stories where you think, oh, I probably don't need to have that experience. And what is under and behind that often is the fear of giving up control to something greater than you. That's what it is.
Mm,
Because in order to do that, you've really got to trust.
mm.
And underneath it all, a lot of us don't really trust. It's like we've got the idea that we trust source. Oh, we trust the divine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's also great. It's like, all right, well, why don't you just surrender to it and let it show you the truth? Oh yeah, I don't know, because it's scarier, right? But on the other side of it, it's just you. All
Yeah.
that is there is the real version of you without the masks and the facades and the damage and etc. Anyway, it's something that people should only do when they're called.
Yep.
And if you've been feeling the gentle nudge, then send us an email and we'll put your name on the interested people for 2025 list because we form a group before we go and we help you with preparation, with the food, with some inner spiritual inquiry that you can do. And we just sort of, get a support group together where we're talking about travel plans and logistics as well. But that can be a nice way for us to contact the people who are interested. So if you've got the feeling like you might be interested or thinking about coming, if you send us an email, we'll have a specific file for those. And closer to the date, we'll go live and we'll do a class and we'll talk about all of this cleaning the vessel and preparing, right, to go through this amazing experience.
What else is happening, Pete? What else have we created? We've created, dun, 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 drum roll, affirmation cards by Roxanne and Peter Heibloom. Yes, that's right. We've got a physical product that well, it's all ready to go, but I haven't been ready to go until this point, and it feels right to announce it now. They're Portal to the Pleiadians affirmation card decks. So they are available on our website, and this is a influence from the Pleiadians, the Octarians, the Syrians, and little messages for you to pick. When you're feeling like I need a message today, and so letting your higher self and the energy pull a card, and go with that energy for the day. I love pulling a card. Every morning I pull a card. It's so good. So Portal to the Pleiadians Galactic deck is now available on our website, awakening.education, for anyone feeling called for that. And what else? That's it.
Cut and go again.
And we have our Galactic Portal to the Pleiadians affirmation card deck. This is a galactic deck to expand your connection to the galactic star family. What? Pleiadians, Octarians, Syrians, Lyran, Lemurian, Atlantis, everything that you need to kind of tune into when you're awakening in this higher frequency. Tapping into angelic realms and getting a little message from the galactic as well could be something that you do every morning, like me.
Yeah, and certainly, when you go into these and like let's say for example there's a pattern and you've been having moments with birds and seeing beautiful birds. You've had an eagle fly right over you when you were hiking, or you're on the beach and a seagull came right up next to you and it wasn't screeching its head off. You just seemed to connect with it, or you may have it with cats or etc.
Maybe it was
And then
scratching its head
you
off.
pull a card and it's got to do with Lyran energy,
Mm.
and the message is talking about merging you with the avian beings, the feline beings. And it's saying the message for you today is to take some time out and be still. Go into nature, be quiet, tune your senses, just listen in because there's a message of guidance from the Lyran beings. Right. And you hear that, you put the card back in the deck, drink your coffee, go out about your day. But when you feel called and the moment's right, take that moment to go within. And there's just little things, right, that'll help you through your day. So Roxy's beautiful creation, that's
Thank you
all
very
her.
much.
She did very well there.
Yeah, bringing the galactic to life. So, on our website if you feel called. But yeah, thanks so much today, guys, for your comments. Please subscribe, and share this video if you feel like a family member or a light buddy might enjoy this information. And it really does help our content to boost it into the algorithm. So a comment of a love heart would be welcomed. If calling from another country, we'd love to hear who our supporters are. So please pop it in the comments below. And just wishing you all a beautiful month ahead. This month of March is super intense, lots of eclipse and retrogrades and planets again and full moons, new moons, and lots of transformation. So, stay centered. Remember, your breath is your chariot, and the earth is your mother. So go and lay on Mother Earth if you need some love and support, tuning into your higher self and calling in your team. Like call your team. They're all around you. Your ancestors are waiting right beside you for supporting you, and you're loved. Remember, what is coming is going. And through some dark days of my own, I was like, wow, I've just got to get through the day. And so if you just got to get through the day at the moment, just get through the day. Don't think about anything else but just today, because that's the point, being in the now moment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, sending you all big love, and we'll talk again soon.